Yeah.
Because he's got that wonderful kind of enthusiasm. Yeah. Holmes is quite cool and dismissive and abrupt. And that's hard to sustain on a daily basis.
The last series I saw you had a crew cut, hadn't you, for Holmes, which surprised me, I thought.
Surprised me.
Because I'd seen nothing in Conan Doyle about a crew cut.
No, I know. It was what was known as a mistake.
I see. What was the most surprising thing about Holmes? What did you discover as you played him?
Well, I was very frightened of him to begin with. I wouldn't have crossed the road to meet him. He didn't seem to be a person I could reach. And that took me a long time. It's interesting. I'm still continuing to try and do it. I mean, I'm doing this play in Guildford and Richmond and Wyndham's Theatre. And I'm still trying to find him.
Do you find that you perhaps withdraw more and more into the character?
Well, no, I've now learned to be much more Bonnie. I mean, I go out more. I got a bit isolated for a while. Also, if you walk around the studios dressed as a penguin all the time, people don't come near you. You look like an undertaker most of the time.
So did the part have the effect of making you a bit antisocial or a bit
cold? I got isolated. Of course, he rabbits quite a lot.
Yeah.
So you've got to learn them. Yeah. And that kind of put me aside for the weekends with a...
So when you play him on stage... It's a bigger character, of course.
Now I've got that challenge. How do you make a small creature, private creature, big enough to be heard at the back?
Yeah.
So that's my new challenge.
Well, I wish you success with it. It's a tough challenge. It's great to have you on the show. Stay with us.
Okay.
Jeremy Brett. And I must tell you, it's bacon in here tonight, isn't it? It's kind of the first, the audience. I think I can probably hear them from here. Anyway, Jeremy's going to hang on gamely. Jeremy's going to stay with us to keep the draft off you.
Quite right.
Now, marvellous part for both of you. Generally, because I know you have personal interest in that because of the death of your second wife. Well, what's your view on that? Because your second wife died of cancer.
Hope. Yeah. Hope lasts until the absolute last moment. It's an extraordinary thing. You adjust. As a family, you adjust with the person, and the moment of release comes. But I think that hope does last until the very final moment. It's an extraordinary thing, and then suddenly you can almost watch the person let go. And that is I really hadn't crossed my mind that it was going to... We were not defeated until the very last minute. And the human spirit is so full of hope, and that I found in Joni's case was amazing. I couldn't generalize about it. I think it's always individual.
Yeah. Do you have any advice to other women who
Well,
may
I
be
think what
worried
Jeremy
about
has
cancer?
said was very typical of me, because I wouldn't accept the fact that I was going to die. And although I actually finished up with having 3 operations, I had hope. And one thing I will say, I mean, obviously to fight cancer, you've got to fight. But for those people who have died, you can't say they didn't fight. We all put up a fight, but you win some and you lose some. But I think that everybody who has it should have hope, because there is a great deal of hope around.
Did you take any of the play back home with you, Jean? Did you?
Well, yes. My husband, Carl, said he preferred me, as Mrs. Byng, who was dying of cancer, to being Mrs. Boswell, because Mrs. Byng had a sort of serenity about her. Mrs. Boswell's a horrible old one. You know? and I boss around everybody around at home, you know. I become Mrs. Boswell, and they're all a bit sick of me, really, although they do love the series. Yes. But Mrs. Byng had great serenity.
Good. Well, we look forward to seeing the play tonight on BBC Two. And I hope we'll see you being able to expand your talents even further in the years to come, in the theatre and on the television. Good to see you. Liz and Jean, thanks for joining us too, Jeremy. Thank you.